What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and this is gonna be my mini analysis of the Midpoint banner, which features Ascended Florina and also Letizia. So Ascended Florina is a colorless bow flyer, and she's actually a pretty fun and unique unit because of the teleportation shenanigans that she can do with her weapon. So she has got New Height Bow, which gives her -1 special cooldown, making Moonbow into a one-turn special, and if she's below 60% HP, then any kind of ally can teleport near her. So this is like a reverse Wings of Mercy, which is really useful for many strategies. And then she can also provide the teleportation support similar to Ashe and her opening retainer by allowing any kind of ally to teleport within 2 spaces of her. And then finally she can get +6 attack and speed in combat, and also deals true damage based on 15% of her speed. Overall, Florina is not the most insane unit, but she's still pretty unique because of the fact that she has got this reverse Wings of Mercy in her weapon, and this can be extremely useful in Aether Raids offense, especially in Aether Raids Chaos, where she's not going to be having very high HP, and she also has a Super Bane in HP. So if you take that and run Fury 4 in her slot A and run Fury Sacred Seal, then in a single combat she can enable this reverse Wings of Mercy effect, and then all kinds of allies can teleport and Gale Force the opponent's team. And this pretty much frees up the allies from running Wings of Mercy themselves, and they can just run other skills like Loud skills, Tempo skills, or Null Follow-Up, and that can be a huge thing for a Gale Force team. So she can function as an initiator for those kinds of strategies, and if not, then she can at least provide you with the opening retainer support like Ashe and help with the mobility of your team. But Ashe can do this a lot better because she is actually bulky and can frontline compared to Florina, who's gonna be pretty frail. So while she's going to be really fun with the teleportation, her offenses are not really anything too impressive. She's going to be having a hard time getting past a lot of the far save armor units as an initiator, and often is going to be dying. So it could be a problem, and she doesn't really have any other thing in her weapon like partial null follow-up or like anything that can help her just bust through those very bulky far save tanks. So while she can be useful to set up that reverse Wings of Mercy, a lot of times against those meta threats she is going to be struggling offensively. But nonetheless, I'm still pretty happy about Ascended Florina and how unique she is with this effect. And then she's got Moonbow, Attack Speed Push 4, and the new Speed Defense Fortress and Joint Drive Speed. So her base kit is pretty nice, and the chip damage of the push skill is going to be helpful in enabling the HP threshold of her reverse Wings of Mercy. But still, you can always run Fury, and that can always help her get a bit more bulk, so that is going to be nice for survival. And Speed Defense Fortress is going to be the optimal skill for a lot of offensive range units that just want to hit really hard and be fast. So that is Ascended Florina, and we do know her stats. She's pretty fast at base 43 speed and does have a super boon, and also has base 37 attack. I have the stats on the sidebar as well, so you can just see, and I've also color coded them with the super boons and banes. And then we have the other units from this banner, and we have got Sain here, who's actually a pretty nice unit from this banner. Surprisingly, despite being a Lance Cavalier, being such a saturated class, he is able to stand out because of his unique weapon in Jolly Jade Lance. So this has got Canto remaining +1 built into it, so he doesn't really have to run a trace skill in his slot B, so that flexibility is definitely pretty good. This weapon gives him +3 attack, and then he can get +6 attack and speed in the combat. And if he uses any kind of rally assist skill, then he can get the visible buffs of +6 attack and speed to himself, and he gets another action. So this kind of weapon is really unique because he can basically have another action after using a rally skill, so that is like a free action that he can do. And keep in mind that Cavaliers can run the Ruse skill, so you can run a Ruse skill on Sain and have him debuff the enemy and still act after that and just go in and attack. And he's going to be getting his Canto after he goes in and attacks, because this another action is going to be treated like Gale Force. So whenever you have a trace skill on a Gale Force unit, the trace skill only triggers after your final action. So here it's not going to be triggering after he uses Rally. So this allows him to be a pretty unique Lance Cavalier, and he can function pretty well in Aether Raids defense, where he can just go ahead of your team and rally them up with Rally Up Attack Plus and not really waste a turn of a Dancer, and he can just refresh himself with this weapon and then just go in and attack. and his attack stat is actually pretty high at base 42, so he can definitely hit hard, but against some of the near save armor units, it is going to be a bit troublesome at times. But still, Sain does stand out because of this self-refresh that he has got after using a rally skill, and the fact that he can run a ruse skill in his slot B. But unfortunately, he's going to be losing out on flow refresh, so that is going to be a bit annoying offensively. But still, he's going to be pretty unique because of this effect, because he can have, a lot better movement, because he can just go ahead and rally someone, get another action, just go in and attack the enemy, and then retreat with his Canto. And you can also run Gale Force on him because he does have really good attack stats, so he can function with Heavy Blade and trigger that. So Sain is definitely a pretty fun unit to use because of this effect, and honestly I didn't expect this kind of unique effect on him, and he's a fan favorite, so I'm really glad that they did something unique with him. He also has Rally Up Attack Plus and Speed Defense Catch 4, so this is a new skill that we have now, and Flow Refresh is available in the normal summoning pool. Flow Refresh does provide you with a partial null follow-up in the player phase, but it's not going to be as good as Flow Guard or Flow Force of Groom Roy. But still, it's a nice skill to have, I guess. And we do see his stats here, so he's pretty good offensively. Does have pretty nice defense as well at base 36. His resistance is going to be super low, so if he faces any kind of near save dragons like Fallen Rhea or Ascended Idun, it is going to be pretty troublesome for him to survive. Sadly, unlike Sain, Kent is not really all that unique. He is a Sword Cavalier who's the 4-star demote of this banner, and he doesn't really have a preferred weapon. He does bring his allied sword, which is just the sword version of allied lance, which we saw on Karen, and this just has joint drive attack and joint drive defense built into it, so it's a pretty nice support weapon. And he does bring the snack skill in the summon pool as well in speed defense snack, which is available at 4-star. And his offensive stat spread is pretty decent with base 37 attack and base 40 speed, so you can build him up if you really like him, but it is going to be a bit hard to stand out compared to Resplendent Eliwood and the insane Blazing Durandal weapon refine that he has got, and also Ares. And there are just so many Sword Cavaliers, honestly, that can function with this kind of role. But still, he is going to be a nice demote for people to merge up if they are big fans of him. And then we've got Letizia. So she's not a mythic unit or a legendary unit, and she is here as a green mage cavalier. So her weapon has got a lot of text, so that's why I've broken it down here. And she is going to be functioning similar to Duo Lift as a bulky cavalier who also has auto follow up. So her weapon Cormed gives her +3 attack, and she can get +6 attack in the combat and inflicts -6 attack debuff on the opponent. So it's kind of like the Spendthrift effect, and then she can get a guaranteed follow-up attack. And then she can inflict even more debuffs to all stats of the opponents depending on the conditions that she can meet. So she's going to be getting -3 debuff to all stats of the opponent per each condition, and this can cap at -9. So if she's got any ally within 3 spaces of her, or if there's another foe within 2 spaces of the target, or if she's got a bonus on herself, or the opponent has got any kind of penalty active on them. So a couple of these effects can be negated, like if the units have debuff neutralization, they're going to be able to bypass the penalty condition, and if they are running distant defense 4 or any kind of lull skill, then they're going to be able to bypass the bonus of Letizia. So some of these conditions can be bypassed, but still you're able to get a lot more debuffs with the first 2 conditions at the very least. So she can overall get like -15 attack debuff on the opponent during the combat, and that can make her really bulky. Now unfortunately, because she is a really slow unit, she's going to be facing trouble from the null follow-up units and faster units like Ascended Idun and Brave Hector, who do have follow-up negation effects. But nonetheless, against those blue far save tanks, she's going to be hitting pretty hard with her high attack stat and the fact that she can get the in-combat debuff. So she can be a threat in Aether Raids defense as a bulky mage cavalier who can hit really hard and get a lot of in-combat debuffs. So definitely a pretty strong weapon. And then she's got Draconic Aura, Attack Resistance Catch 4, AR Fortress, and Rouse Attack Resistance 4. So the Rouse skill at the very least can fulfill the bonus condition of her weapon, and she does have Super Boon in her attack stat as well. And if you use her with Brattle Catria, then she can hit really hard with her high attack stat. So that is something that I plan to do if I do get her. So Brattle Catria is going to be really fun with her in Aether Raids defense. So definitely a pretty powerful unit, and one of the stars of the banner, I guess, but surprisingly not a mythic unit like the other midpoint OCs. So that is going to be our banner, and we're also going to be getting a Grand Tour Battle with Limstella. And Limstella's weapon is rather interesting because it does give -8 resistance and attack debuff to the opponent, also has follow-up negation built into it, and then has this kind of half proxy blade tome similar to Ashera, but it only works for the attack and resistance buff of the allies, and then they're going to be inflicting 15 damage to allies within 3 spaces of them, so they're going to be draining the quintessence out of the allies, so that chip damage is going to be super annoying. And Limstella does have a attack super boon, so they're going to be hitting pretty hard as a green infantry mage. I'm definitely going to be covering them in depth in my full review, but yeah, this is the preferred weapon of Limstella. Definitely pretty nice as a free-to-play unit with amazing art. Overall, this banner does have some fun units, but none of them are going to be a must-pull in any kind of regard. Like Florina can be pretty fun, Sain can also be pretty fun, but they're not really something that everyone needs. So if you have orbs to spare and if you do like these units, then you could try and go for them. But for most people, it is going to be a skippable banner. So let me know in the comments what you think about this banner, and if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps me tremendously, and if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more FEH videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as preferred weapon of Kent. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.